Hey guys, how's it going? How's my coding family doing? Hey April, sorry to hear my mom fell and broke her hip too. It has been challenging for lots of us. My goodness. If that was your first time to take the exam in December, don't feel too bad about not passing. It never bothers. I mean, I think that's why they give us 2 attempts, and I think it's great that you're going to get another chance to see the exam. You know what to expect now, and whenever you get a chance to practice exam questions, be sure to get in there with my on my YouTube videos, especially the workshops, and just turn my volume off so you don't hear me. And then just pause the screen, and when you see a question pop up, and then practice it. Give yourself about 1 minute and 40 seconds to find the answer. Pick one, and then see if you got it right. Work on building muscle memory and getting through these books and finding the codes, getting to the answers that you're needing in that short amount of time is my best suggestion, of course, for trying to pass your next attempt. I have been crazy, guys. It has been nonstop all day today. Between work and my mom and the appointments and having work done on the house to make sure that this place is more ADA compliant for her. And I got people working and construction crews doing things, and then trying to build more content for you guys and prep questions ahead of time and do a job, and then corral my children. Oh, my children are just going nuts. It's been challenging. It really has. But my birthday month is coming up in like 4 or 5 more days, so I can't wait for April. April is always a really, really good, strong month for all of us because it's my birthday month and it brings everybody luck, right? It also, we get like tax refunds at that time. People are able to take their exams, and most people pass. A lot of them do in April. I have so many pass this month, so I'm excited for April to come up. How is everybody else done? If you're in chat, text me what state you're in and when you plan on taking your exam, because that helps me make sure I go over a lot of things that are helpful for you guys that are coming up in the next few days or months, that kind of stuff. This Thursday in Texas, oh my goodness, really soon. I did TikTok live yesterday. I downloaded that live and posted it on YouTube today. I'll do TikTok live tomorrow, and then I'll do YouTube live again on Thursday. So I just kind of alternate every other day. Kentucky, April 10th, Washington, Wisconsin. Next month, scared, to be honest. Yeah, it's perfectly normal to be scared. You retake it. Still prepping your ICD-10. You bought the notes for ICD-10? Oh, turning the book in from your 2023 into 2024? Awesome. New York in April. Awesome. Best of luck, guys. Let me switch this over to that. Some of these questions are a few little repeats from the last time I went YouTube live, but they all have a common theme for the knee meniscus repairs. So I just wanted to go over these anatomy terms one more time, and then we're going to do some new E&M questions that I got that are from 2024 from Codify. They have a E&M E&M survival guide inside Codify, and you can take an E&M test inside there and get CEUs. This is nothing that I would recommend anybody studying to purchase. The Codify will not help you pass the coding exam, but I just thought it was cool that I had some 2024 questions. I don't have rationales to go with them, but they do tell me which ones are wrong or correct or whatever. So I got some 2024 E&M questions, and then we'll do some 4000s and some guidelines. My cat is over here grumbling at the birds outside the window. I don't know if y'all heard her, but that's why I'm laughing a little bit. You guys let me know what you think the answer is in chat. Still prepping, going to be taking your exam in May. Great. Let me know in chat also if you have other questions. B is correct. Good job. What about this one? You tell them birds, Chloe. You tell them. You tell them to stay off your fence. That's your brick wall, isn't it? We got some A's and some B's for this one. A is correct, medial and lateral. Which type of tear can be found on the outer portion of the meniscus? Only if you're low in the scores of lab and path. Did you already take the exam before and not pass, and that's one of your lower sections? Then my lab and path notes can help you. Lab and path is pretty challenging because it's not just what you're testing for, it's how you got, what specimen did you use? Did you use blood, urine, stool? Am I doing an enzyme test? Am I doing something different? Am I doing a single step test or a multi-step test? Lab and path is pretty challenging. Concentrate on integumentary all the way through radiology. Those are the easiest sections to get higher scores in. With my notes, of course, are great for those sections. Lab and path is also very, very helpful. It's just a very big chapter. There's a lot to convert and change into, and a lot of writing for that. Be sure to fix your out-of-code sequences. At least get your page numbers down, all the red codes of where they're at in lab and path and the medicine section. That's super helpful for the exam. Yes, my ICD-10 notes are just perfectly fine for whatever book you have. It's just all the common diabetes. How do you take care of pain? It's all the guidelines in test answer situations. Burn victims, abuse victims, drug and alcohol, or took too much of a particular drug or have an allergic reaction. It's all those diagnosis scenarios and cancer, anemia, combination, stuff like that, all at the code level in the code books at the codes, instead of it all being up in the front with the guidelines. But the notes are great for any of those exams. I am teaching for any medical coding certification exam. So if you want to take your CPC, your CCS, anything from AHIMA or aapc, I like to teach from the exam point of view of how to pass the exam, whether you're becoming a CPMA or a CCS, CIC, COC, any of those. I like to teach you how to look at the answers first, see if you see any coding irregularities, similarities, look at your differences in your headers, then look at your differences in your descriptors. Doing all of that will more than likely get you down to a 50-50 shot at what the answer is before you look at anything in the question. I try to teach y'all how to do these questions without looking at the question at all, just going straight to the answers, so that you can pick out which answer is correct the fastest, most efficient way possible, because we do not have a lot of time. There's no prerequisites with AAPC certifications. You can just purchase exam attempts and go straight to being certified. So that is pretty cool about AAPC, and that you get 2 attempts for your purchased exam price. You get them birds, Chloe. And I recommend taking that first attempt. Of course, try to pass, but if you can't, don't worry about it, because you've got a second attempt, and that first attempt is more for your own educational purposes. You'll know what to expect next time, and use it as a learning. I'm so glad you found me too, Jessica. That's great. So what I would do in this situation is go, of course, to the answers first. We've got 2 different CPT codes, that's all. Go look and see what your differences are between those 2 codes, which one of them is, the one word is and then the other one is or. So are you an and or an or in this question? And would you use a 50 modifier in these codes areas? The second exam will be completely different from the first one we take. Completely different, I mean, they're all multiple choice. They're all over and divided over 17 subjects. You're going to have 6 integumentary questions. You're going to have 4 anesthesia questions. That all is going to stay the same. Some of the questions may be repeats. 1 or 2 of them you may see again from your other exam. But most generally, yes, a lot of the questions will be rewritten differently, but they will still be over the same common genres, just differently formatted words. My CPMA exam was very much almost, I mean, a lot of the questions were the same exact ones for CPMA. I took it twice so that I could see the exam twice. And when I took it the second time, I did it in 2 hours and 6 minutes. So you know I was just flying through that thing, not reading nothing, and just circling answers. So it was pretty close. It was pretty darn close. Yep. What do you guys think the answer is for this one? I've got a D. Somebody says D. in April. I bought your Lab and Path notes. Definitely has helped me make sense of it. Wonderful. That's fantastic. That's my whole goal. I don't have notes on the genetic testing in Lab and Path. The section is just way too big, and I've never seen anybody asked any questions on the CPC exam in the last 4 years I've been teaching this on those particular little sets of codes in Lab and Path, so don't fret over that. But what you will see on the exam, of course, is going to be those Lab and Path panels in the fronts, the 800, 81, 74, 69. You know those codes are going to be on there. The definitions and acronyms, of course. Let me see if I can't get my video display to work. Yeah, you're going to work. So in Lab and Path, there's this acronym page around page 600, and they'll probably test you on some of these, maybe even just one of them. I like that TLC one. That one often comes up on the exam, or the THC. They're probably going to ask you something about the cocaine when they verify that the drug screen came back positive, and then they're going to verify probably one of those, or the antidepressant codes will probably be on the exam. You know these urine drug screens are going to be on there, and having my notes to tell you things like don't times these is super helpful for the exam, because a lot of the answers will have these as ×2 because they repeated the drug screen. And if you don't know that you're not supposed to times them, you might pick the wrong answer. So super helpful, but those codes will definitely be on your exam no matter when you take it. This anti-seizure drugs, they love to do that one on the exam. The growth hormones, that's a new one, a new area that they've been doing, because these are kind of like panels. It includes glucose done by 3, but also it includes the human growth hormones. So that's been a new area on the exam that I haven't seen before. The urinalysis, you know, you'll have something about those. You just need to know if you have microscope or not. Easy peasy. None of those codes are usually on the exam. None of these. Fix all those out of code sequences. Get all those page numbers written down. All this molecular pathology that's coming up here, none of those are usually on the exam. None of this. So I don't do notes for these. They're just never on the exam that I know of. Nobody's told me that they are. And then anything else we got in Lab and Path back here? You know you're going to have a pap smear. You know you're going to have the fecal occult blood, urine, or breath, or feces, sputum, those kind of things will be tested on. There's the fecal occult bloods. Whether they do them in the office or whether the patient takes them home and does them is your big time issue. The glucose tolerance test for the pregnant women, usually on the exam, you know. And you've only got 6 questions, so between what I've already showed you and the glucose test, oh yeah, pro time might be on there. I pretty much spelled out exactly what's on the exam in these questions. The only other spot they really like to pick on is the pap smears, yes. Maybe a strep or enzyme test for strep A, strep B, that kind of thing. And maybe those back here. the 88300 through 88309. They love those. And my notes have every example known to man for these codes in them, which is super helpful to have for your exam for sure. And then they always doing testing on the sperm and the zygotes of the eggs. So those are also helpful when they start doing those on the next few pages. But that's pretty much all of Lab and Path that you got to worry about. And practicing those exam questions is the best advice I got. This one, did anybody get D? I know a lot of people did for that one. And let me know if you got questions on it, but this one does have the 50 modifier on this one. So let's do some of these 2024 questions that they have inside Codify for E&M section. That's what these next questions are. If both a preventative, and I haven't even read these exam questions yet, so bear with me. If both a preventative visit and an office visit are reportable within the same data service, for which code may we append the 25 modifier? Preventative, office visit, both the preventative and the office visit, or none of them? Interesting question. And I'm going to check up on chat since I was just talking away. I was on a lot of pages. I'm sorry I didn't see your message. Thanks, Twinkle. Thank you for the thumbs up. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see how we're doing on that. Where am I at? We got 34 people on, and I got 9 likes so far on the YouTube stream. Thank you, guys. That's great. Let me give out some subscriptions while I'm thinking about it to YouTube. I'm sending money to YouTube, and they are going to pick 5 people that are in chat to give out free YouTube memberships for my content. I have exclusive videos that if you want to, you can pay $4.99 a month, and you can have access to my old workshops, duck classes, repeat TikTok lives, and lots of other stuff. And that's what the YouTube membership will get you. So Go Card, Jessica, Brittany, Diana, and is it Canny? Kanisha? Miss Day? She won. I hope that is super helpful for you guys. She's new here too. That's great. That's awesome. I hope that YouTube membership helps you out. It's free for a whole month. You won't be recharged when the month is ended, but now you've got access to my workshop videos, which are great because they have 75 or more. Some of them even have like 80 something practice exam questions in them, and I'll show you exactly how I would tackle them during an exam. I do them in the same pace as the exam, so I'll do 75 in 3 hours. So it's really fast. What do you guys think the answer to this question is? If both a preventative and an office visit are reportable within the same date of service, which code may we append the 25 modifier to? Is it the preventative one, the office one, both of the visits, or none of the above? What do you guys think? Don't forget to go to the community tab on YouTube here too, because there is a ton of practice exam questions there that are super helpful for you guys. I did 2 today. Did anybody try to go answer both those? see how many answered the second one. Only 38 answered the second one. I got 4 likes on it. I wrote that one myself. Cat, what are you doing? See what she's doing. Sewing up something. My goodness, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You want to go out? You want out? All right. Say so next time. Here we go. All right. Is it okay to practice with the 2023 book, or do I need the 2024 book? Yeah, absolutely. If you're taking an AAPC certification exam in 2024, you can actually use the 2023 CPT book. So you're perfectly fine. Only if you're doing ahima are they required to, the CCS and CCA people are required to buy new books as of April 1st. But you can practice with anything. What do you guys think? I also have a document that I do sell on my website at medicalcodingbyjen.com that will turn your 2023 book into a 2024 book. I went through a blank 2023 CPT book, and I manually hand wrote the new codes for 2024 in it, and I show you exactly how I did it with pictures, and also type out what the new codes are in case you can't read my handwriting. And you can turn your 2023 book into a 2024 book and save yourself a lot of money if you want to. This one, the answer was B. Did anybody get that one right? I saw a lot of A's, I saw a lot of C's, but I didn't see a lot of B's. Angie got it right. Is she the only one? Good job. I'm going to give away another YouTube membership because Angie got that one right. Good job. Michelle got that one. Good job. All right. What do you think about this question? Which of the following is not a symptom of pleural effusion? Good job. Yep, palpitations. Back to E&M questions, brand new for 2024. Which HIPICS add-on code may be primary care provider? What? Code may a primary care provider be able to report with an E&M visit to account for extra time, effort, and practice expenses associated with the care of a Medicare patient? Which one of these HIPICS code? I do have notes for all of the HIPICS book all-in-one download. I shared that in an email today because I don't know if a lot of people know about it. But if you want a complete set of notes for everything you might need for the 4 little HitPix questions that we have on our exam. I've got that available too if you guys need it. Main thing is to know the dates when HitPix is going to turn this back on. Know what each one of those letters stand for. What does that P stand for? What does that C stand for? It's a word. Be sure you know what those words are. Know when HitPix updates. There is some calendar dates in here. It's kind of hard to find, but it's in some of these guidelines right here. When they update and when they go into effect is 2 different dates. So be sure you know the differences. Some things are the drugs and biologicals update quarterly, and those kind of things are important to know. Be sure you know about ambulances, casting supplies, fiberglass versus plaster cast, ambulance, basic life support versus advanced life support. Who's in the ambulance? Know those differences. The J codes, be sure you know the differences between them. And what I didn't know is be sure you know not to look directly across from the number and look for your drug right there, because your drug name is going to be down here in the blues. And I didn't know that for my exam. So be sure and know that you got to come down here and look for the correct drug name. That's super important for the J's. And then on the G's, the only thing that's really, really confusing, of course, they have a pneumonia and a flu shot that's in here. But the other thing is all their colonoscopies, wherever they're at in here. There's a lot of different ones. Some of them are Flex SIGs. Some of them are something else. Not all of them are all colonoscopies. Some of them are for screening, and some of them are for a high-risk patient. And you got to know all those differences in all the colonoscopies, wherever they're at. They're around here somewhere in the G's. I haven't marked up this book. This is the 2024 that I just opened up. Yeah, and that annual wellnesses too, those G codes. Just be careful on the colonoscopies, because some of them are just for screening. Some of them are flex sigmoids, but they're not colonoscopies. And some of them are for high-risk patients, and some of them are for just screening. Somewhere around in these areas. So be sure and know that for those 4 little questions we have in HitPix. But what do you guys think the answer is for this one? You managed 100%? Awesome, Rachel. Yay. Good job. Is everybody saying D on this one too? Are you guys sure? For this question, what do you guys think is the answer for this one? Oh, the different wheelchairs too. There's like a power wheelchair or a manual wheelchair, you know. Know those differences. Just slight little differences in some of those codes. Oh yeah, barium enemas. See, this is one of those. It says colorectal cancer screening, but this one's a barium enema. And then this one is for high risk, and it's a colonoscopy. And then the next one is another barium enema. And then it just keeps flip-flopping back and forth between all these. So be sure you know those differences. And it's all in black and white, and it's not highlighted. Which ones are barium enemas? Which one are the real colonoscopies? Which one's not for high risk? Which one's for screening? You know, so work on those codes when you're in the HitPix book. But I do have page by page printable notes that you guys can just view on your computer and then just copy it. Super handy dandy. But I also show you how to make your own notes completely free on my website. If you go to the resource tab and just go to CPT book prep underneath there, it'll show you how to make your own notes in all your books for free. There's like 8 pictures there. You just click on them, shows you what to do. It's got the instructions there. I have a pocket prep question in Discord. All right, Rach. What do you guys think is the answer for this one? Correct. A is it. Good job. What do you guys think is this one? Before implementing complexity of the add-on code G2211 in your office, which of the following should you not do? So we're looking for an incorrect answer. Those are always the hardest ones to do on the exam because you're so focused during the exam of finding all the correct answers. When they ask you to find an incorrect one, it's very hard to change your focus. But they do it quite often on the exam, so pay attention. And then halfway through some of the answers, I forget that I'm looking for a wrong answer. So it's really hard to focus and make sure you're really looking for the correct thing the entire way through the question. All right, are we analyzing? Are we creating? Are we automating? Or are we furnishing? What are we doing? What words have you seen as a guideline when they're talking about adding add-on codes for Medicare patients? Something we are not supposed to do is automate. Do not automate stuff. Nothing is all universal. Everything has to be individually looked at. Good job, guys. Good job. What about this one? A patient comes into your office complaining of a low back and stomach pains. Although this is the physician's first time meeting the patient, another doctor from the same group saw the patient 2 years ago for a similar complaint. Patient would be considered as new. Is that true or false? I love all the answers in chat. Good job. Perfect, perfect. It is false. Good job. Does have to be over 3 years. Yep. All right. What kind of code is 99244? What's our header for that code? If you're reading this, you're doing the question wrong. Don't do that. What you are supposed to do is go to each answer and tell yourself what the header is for that particular code. What's our header for 99244? What's the header? When you go to your book and you look up 99244. What is its header? It's right there. Our header is office and other outpatient consultations, right? That is our header. So it's office consult. So is our 45. What header is 99222? Good job, go-kart. What's 99222? Admit, hospital. And our 99242? Is another office consultation. They're just different levels. Now, thinking about those differences between those CPT codes, I'm going to look from the bottom up and see which one will match. Which one matches a 30 minutes? It's the first thing that I see in these codes. So instead of reading anything else, I'm just going to look at the different times for all of those codes and see which one would match 30 minutes. Because if it doesn't meet or exceed a certain level or time, then I can't bill it anyway. So that would help me eliminate some of these answers really, really quickly. So this one is for 20 minutes. So we know it can't be D because we did not meet or exceed, right? Or we did 30 minutes. So it does meet and exceed. So never mind. I'm talking wrong. We did meet it for that one. This one's 20 minutes. Woo. This one's okay. It could be that one. Our 4-4 is 40 minutes. So we did not meet or exceed for that. And you know we won't for our 55 because that's 55 minutes. So you know it can't be that. Our 222, how many minutes is that one? That one's 55. So we didn't meet or exceed for that one either. So pretty much tells us exactly which the answer is. If you had gone and read more into this question, you probably would have found that. And then if you go by that, which is the propaganda in the question, meant to confuse you and make you pick the wrong answer, you could have possibly went to the code and picked what, 4-4? Probably A as the correct answer. Because that one's moderate, I think. Is that one moderate? Yeah, that one's moderate. But you want to avoid the propaganda in the question. So don't use whiteout on your book like I did. Number one, just be sure and know that these codes are going to go by you know, more than anything else, it's about not reading the entire question and staying true to what the code sets say, and that you have to meet or exceed a certain level. Super helpful. Just to have those underlined or highlighted so that you've got it. Remember things like Medicare doesn't cover consultations. Like in today's practice question that I have in on our YouTube channel, I've got one about the P6. It's not covered by Medicare either. So if you ever see anything about Medicare, these are not covered by Medicare either. So if you ever see Medicare in a question, we're not going to code any of those P's. And if you see it as a possible answer, you can eliminate them really fast, easy like that. What do you guys think about this one? We got another true and false. A provider must document all 3 MDMs when choosing an office E&M code not based on time. Is that true or false? I know it's not an A, B, C, or D question, but I thought it was a good one. And since it's a 2024 question from AAPC, I thought it's worth showing off. April 11th. Y'all are going to do so good in April. Hey, Robin. It's been a while. It's good to see you. I lost a credit card this week, which happens to be one that's tied to all my recurring bills for everything. Oh, it's so frustrating to have to order a new one of those. Robin, you just won a YouTube membership. I hope that thing helps you out. Yay! Now you have access to all the exclusive videos, the workshop videos that I have on YouTube. They have lots and lots of practice questions in them. Super helpful. Plus the duck classes. They have like 40, 50 questions in them too. I hope that helps you out. I got my mom a ring for her birthday in February, and it was at a jeweler getting resized. And I don't know. I know I paid for it. And when I walked out of there, I did not have the credit card anymore. I don't know what happened to it. No idea. Went to the pharmacy to pick up some of her prescriptions and did not have it then. So I waited 24 hours to see if it would turn up. It never did. So I had to order another one. So it's crazy. Such a pain. You're welcome. I'm happy to be here. It's so fun to hang out with you guys. So everybody's saying this is true? What? Are you guys reading this? Is that Denise? Miss Marshall got it. Everybody's saying A. Oh yeah, that's right. A is false, which is true, which is correct. Oh my gosh. I'm getting it all turned around. But this one is false. We don't want the B for the true because what do you need to meet your MDM? What does it say at the top of our little thingy here on page 8 and 9? Right here. Right here. In that little bitty square. It says based off of 2 out of 3 elements. And our question, ooh, I'm shaking. Stop shaking. There we go. Our question says that they have to meet all three. And we don't. We only have to meet 2 out of 3. So, tricky one. Sorry about that. I don't know why I always associate with B being false. A seems like it would be true. I just got it backwards. But yeah, it is false. All right. What code is, or our header for 99417? What is our header for that one? Before y'all look, what's our header for 99417? Can you find it? Do you know where it is in the book? It's not easy to find because it's out of sequence. It's not where it should be. It's not in numerical order. So if you haven't gone through and put the little page numbers down beside all the red codes in your book, it's going to drive you nuts trying to find all these codes. So be sure to write down the page numbers next to these red codes so that you can find these. What's the header for 99417? And do you know what page number it's on, since it's prolonged? Good job. So this is an add-on code. It's usually unlikely that it's the only or single answer. Just something to consider. What's our header for 99205? New office. So is our 203 and our 202, 204. They're all new office visits. We've got low, moderate, high, right? So now we can check our question, but we're only checking our question for these differences. We need to know what we're being asked to code. So read your last sentence in any one of the E&M questions, because they may say, you know, a ton of stuff about a patient and how old they are and what diagnoses they have and all this stuff. And they were transferred from home health to the hospital and now they're back in rehab facility. What would we build today? But they don't ever get to the point till the very end to ask you what the correct answer is. So always read the last sentence and then skim the back from the bottom up if you need further information. But we're only looking to see if we're billing an office visit or if they're asking us if we're going to use a prolonged visit, because this code won't be coded by itself. It would have to go with one of those codes. There's only 2 CPT codes that 99417 can be coded with. Does anybody know what those 2 codes are? Since we're on this subject, there's only 2 codes that can use 99417. What are they? They start with 99. Does anybody know? 992, actually. Rosalind, very good. Good girl. Good. 205 and 99215. That used to be one of the questions on the exam. They had one of these with every one of the codes had 99417 attached to it. So if you knew that it only goes with the 05 or the 15, you were able to pick the answer without reading one answer on the, or one word of the question at all, because every other answer except for one had like 202, 203, and 204. So it was really super easy. So if you don't know that, that's something worth making note in your book. But let's see what our last sentence says. This was an extensive encounter, high complexity, and they spent 59 minutes with the patient. So what would we report in this scenario? Good job, Danny. Yep. This one equals 60 minutes. So we haven't even met the criteria for this or exceeded it anyway. So we're good to go. We're good to go with B. Perfect. What code header is it for 99291? What is our header for that one? It's my favorite E&M code because we don't have 2 of 3 to match up. It's one of the easiest ones. Good job, Marshall. It is critical care. What is our header for 99281? We still have 32 people on the live, and we got 25 likes on the YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. ER, that's correct. What's our header for 99238? Is that discharge? What is that? My brain is not firing on all of its missions tonight. Yeah, that is discharge. Yay. Discharge. So now we've got our headers. So we're only looking in the question for things that are going to be asked. Are we billing a discharge? Is the patient in ER, or are we billing a critical care? Let's read our last sentence. Which CPT code is appropriate? Patient went into shock. They had to stabilize the patient. They worked on him for 25 minutes. And then they were no longer in life-threatening danger. What would we code? Would we code critical care, ER, or discharge them home? Or none of these? Maybe observation. What would we do? Yep, learning muscle memory, learning where these codes are at. It's super helpful. We have some guidelines with this. If there is a chart in your, in your CPT book, about a certain code, use the chart. Don't use the CPT code descriptor and try to do the answer, because if you're going to do the math and try to subtract minutes from whatever and add it correctly, you'll get it wrong. Just go to the chart and look for the appropriate amount of time and pick the answer based off of what they tell you on the charts. Always use the charts. Several of the codes have charts back here. If there is one, use it. I used to refuse to use them, but I learned the hard way. Always use the charts. Use the charts if we got them. Use them, use them. And with this one, of course, it does say that anything less than 30 minutes, use an appropriate E&M visit. We can't use critical care. So we know with that guideline that we're going to get rid of critical care codes. I don't think they're observation. No one stated that they put them in observation, but you would technically for shock. You're not just going to treat them for 25 minutes and let them go home. But we can't, do this as real life situation. We have to pick the answer that aapc wants based off the information that they gave you. And the key point of this is the 25 minutes. They just want to know, do you know about that 30-minute rule? Be careful with this one. If they did a trach and they only did 30 minutes of critical care, but you're going to be able to bill, what's that, 31500 code to go along with it. What is that one? 31500. Yeah, if they did the trach intubation, anything that's here on page 47 that you can bill along with the critical care codes, you need to take the time off it took to do that procedure, since you're going to get paid to do that procedure separately from the critical care visit. You have to take the time off, so at least 5 minutes. So if you have 30 minutes of critical care and you did a trach and you're going to bill this, then you only did 25 minutes of critical care, and you can't bill critical care for that. You have to go back to doing the ER visit or whatever else, wherever you might be. So be careful with these codes that are on page 47 if you're in the 2024 book. I don't know what page they're on. Is it 37 or something like that? Yeah, I wish I knew how much time you took off, but really, what does it matter? If a trach intubation took a physician who's like lickety-split really good, it took him 1 minute to do it, but you only had 30 minutes of critical care, well, now you have 29 minutes of critical care. You still can't bill it, so it doesn't really matter, I don't guess, how much time you take off of it. Some doctors take longer than a minute, and you think, good Lord, their brain is going to start dying in two. You need to hurry up. And some of them get them done in 10 seconds, but it's still time that you got to take off. So I wish I knew. I really did. I wish there was some guideline or rule that told me CMS says this takes at least 5 minutes, and that's what you're going to take off. I wish there was a hard, fast rule, because I would love it, because I would write all those down right here and have a really nice, how much time to take off. But I've been looking for that information. Maybe CMS has commented on how much time. I just haven't found it yet. But irregardless, for the exam, even if they took 1 minute off and you are going to bill this, you can't take, you still can't bill critical care. For that one particular question that says 30 minutes of critical care time with a trach, you know your answer will not be critical care. Yep, and we're not discharging the patient yet, so I guess we're just doing an ER visit based off this question. You're welcome. Another 2024 E&M question. You can report critical care services in which places of service? Can you bill for that in an office, hospital observation, rest home, emergency room department? Or in an office, hospital observation, home, or residence? In the hospital observation, the domiciliary, rest home? What about inpatient, office, urgent care, pediatric, hospital, ER, and ambulance? Where can we bill critical care services? Because, you know, if a doctor's on an airplane and a patient stops breathing and they perform CPR till the plane lands, puts them on a helicopter and flies them back to the hospital, whatever, they technically don't bill for critical care on the airplane. There are certain places that we can bill for it. So I was answering a question about Travis. Padme, you passed. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for coming back to let me know. That is great news. I love it. So proud of you. Good job. Good job. Congratulations. Yay. I knew she would. That's great. I hope something I said made a big difference. I hope there wasn't anything on it that was shocking, that you had no idea what to do with the question. Hopefully you knew what to expect and you just kept me on your shoulder. Like you say, you know, don't linger with those questions. Look at your one-word differences and only look for those differences. Try not to be clinical in these questions. Don't be a coder. Don't look for modifiers when there are none. Don't look for situations that aren't there. Only look for the code answer differences. You have a wonderful night. No wonderful Angie. This one is D. Good job, guys. We can bill critical care in ambulances, in the emergency room, pediatric, outpatient floors, urgent care, inpatient, the office. That's so weird. The office. You know, like in an internal medicine doctor's office or in your own practice, those kind of things. But for that answer, for sure. Here's another HipPix one. Only one physician is allowed to submit a CPO claim per month, and it must be the physician who performed the certified Medicare-covered home health service or home hospice care. Which code should a nurse practitioner use when exclusively reporting a certified Medicare-covered patient? What do you think? Thank you for saying so. I never meant to turn out to be a teacher. It's crazy. I'm just here to try to help you guys make a difference in your life that can get you into a better job or career or a raise or whatever, so that you make more money for your family, that helps your little neighborhood out. And I mean, you get to help other people because you have more money. You get to spend more of it and help small businesses in your community. And, you know, it just makes a difference. And I just hope I make a difference. I'm just here to help. Whether you buy any notes or anything from me, it doesn't matter. Makes me so happy to find out that something I said made a difference and you're able to pass that exam. So it's great. It's wonderful. Thanks, Mabel. Your first attempt and you passed. Wow, so good. Awesome. Are we in the G18s or the G17s? Or are we completely somewhere else in the G03 area? You are very, very welcome. Anything that you want to share that should know that I haven't said maybe that was on your exam, you can always let me know. Super helpful. But hopefully the same things are usually on there. There's always going to be a critical care patient. There's always going to be a consultation. No one gets a consultation. Everybody's a new patient. Those kind of things. You're very welcome. Someone said A. Jamie said A. What do you guys think? Got another A. I think you guys are right. Instead of the two 7s that are super close, we ended up being the 8 right above. I would have started out with these two B and C answers, realized I was in the wrong spot, and then found that one. The 03 would have been the last one I looked up. I try to look up 2 at a time because I can't remember more than that in my head. And since the exams are all online, we don't have any drawing tools, so it's hard. All right, what is our header for our 99460? Do you know what page number this one is on? It's probably out of sequence. What is our header for 99460? Do you know where it is? Can you get to the code quickly? What's the header? Lord, the cat wants in again. Hold on. Travis, I'm teaching. Go turn your light off in your room and turn the volume down. Did you do your laundry? Did you shower? Did you change the trash bag in the boys' bathroom? Go do that. He just got back from cheer practice. They've already started cheer for 2025. I had somebody bring him home so I wouldn't be late for you guys. All right. What header are we under? What's our header? It's not even on the page where the code is at. You have to turn the page back to see what the header is. And it is newborn care. Perfect. So is our 63. What is the header for 99238? I don't think it's hospital inpatient. What's our header? What would Jen call the header anyway? 99238. We're not being admitted or are admitted. We're being what? 238. That header is also not on its page. Look. It's on the next column. It is discharge. We're being discharged. And then this one is our admit hospital code. So thinking about those differences, are we dealing with newborn services? So what is the guideline for how long a child is a newborn? So if they come in when they're 9 days old, are they a newborn? If they come in when they're 31 days old, are they still a newborn? What constitutes a newborn care? There's a guideline there. I wonder if anybody knows. How long are they a newborn? And you would use any of these 99460 codes. Good job. Yep. So, are we dealing with an infant in that age range because it's only an age-based issue? Or are we discharging someone or are we admitting someone? That's all we need to look for in this question. Don't look for anything else. You don't need to know diagnoses, none of that stuff. It's just useless information that you will carry to the next question. So the less you can keep in your brain from question to question to question will help you from getting brain fatigue throughout the exam. That is also a proven tactic that helps out a lot. So the last sentence says, which code is appropriate to bill for discharge? That's why I say read the last sentence, because they may tell you a bunch of stuff went on up here, but then they ask you to answer a question that is something different than whatever's going on up here. And a lot of people will skip the last sentence because they read all this and then they assume what they need to pick as an answer based off all the beginning stuff. So be sure to look at your one-word differences on all your E&M answers. We don't do the process of elimination in E&M questions. We look up our headers for all the answers. We read our last sentence, and then we try to pick our answer just based off that last sentence. That strategy works really well with E&M. All the other sections, lab path, cardiology and all that stuff, we can use the process of elimination, looking for similarities and irregularities and those things, but we just don't do it in E&M. Go on and look at your differences in your headers. What do you guys think is the answer? Hello, Julie. Good to see you. The lady who came over today and did physical therapy with my mom was named Julie. Very nice lady. She laughed the entire time she was here. She was a very happy person. Very happy. Is it something that goes on with people that are named Julie? Because who else comes into chat and saying that we're all beautiful people? Only a happy person would. So maybe that's a personal trait for all Julies. That's interesting. I have not met a lot of Julies in my lifetime. But boy, she was happy today. Good to see you. I thought we did this one. I have no idea. Did we do this one? A baby was born in the hospital on 6/1. On 6/2, the pediatrician performed an initial newborn care, then discharged the child on the same day. What would be the answer? Maybe we've done this one, but I pulled it today from Codify. Well, yesterday. I pulled it from yesterday from Codify, from a 2024 quiz that they give CEUs for. I purposely failed it because I've got way too many CEUs already. But it seems like we've maybe seen a question like this at one time. You know, 4 years of doing practice questions, they all run. I have a question about 99205. If the amount of time was 29 minutes, then it did not meet the 60-minute mark by 1 minute. Right? But what if your patient was, you know, had heart issues, kidney issues? If your MDM, I gotta look at that question from earlier today. If your MDM is higher than the time guideline, which guideline do you pick? Do you pick the time? Because you have to meet and exceed for 2024 now. It's a new guideline because they don't have any ranges anymore. Or can you just pick the MDM? Or which one's higher? What if your time is 60 minutes, but your MDM is low? Can you still pick your time? Because you spent a whole hour with that sinus infection because they wouldn't let you out of the room? Or what if you have a really super complicated sick patient that needed a lot of referrals, a lot of tests ordered, but you only spent 20 minutes with them? Don't you get to bill the higher level still? I have to look at that question again and see and verify what they're picking as the right answer, because I believe that question had a higher MDM than the time allowed or something. I don't know. I'll have to look at it again. If we look at our newborn codes that we were looking at for the admits of the newborns, We can note that one of them is for admit. This one is an admit seen somewhere else other than the birthing center, right? We also have next day visit for a subsequent visit, but we also have this combo code. This is how I gave birth, and this is how I've talked about this particular CPT code before, is I was admitted and discharged in the same day because I only had 4 hours of labor. I went in for induction, but it happened so fast that I only had 4 hours labor, and then he was out by noon, and I was like, can I go home? I mean, by dinner time, I was like, well, I got laundry to do. Why do I need to spend the night? We're fine. He's fine. Let's go. So we went home. So, yeah, there is an admit and discharge all in the same day for a newborn. And that is just a unique E&M visit for newborns. So having your one-word differences between all these codes with examples is super helpful. So now what do you guys think the answer is for this one? I'm just going to fall asleep to this video and hopefully some of the information sticks in your head. You know, they do that. If you play Bach or Beethoven in your room, even in your newborns or while your baby's in utero, you're pregnant or whatever, they claim it increases your IQ for your children and you too, which is crazy, but it's about the patterns and the math that's involved in all those keystrokes and stuff. So it's kind of interesting. You know, if you play Lil Wayne, there's some Lil Wayne songs that I actually like. The ones with the, I love the ones from that movie. What's the movie with all the little superheroes? Not Bruce Willis, but Will Smith is in it, and I forget. It starts with an S. Suicide Squad. He's got a Lil Wayne song that I love, but they've done studies, and if you listen to Lil Wayne, it lowers your IQ. But I like some of those songs. It's funny. Lil Wayne, I'll be up all night. I know, right? And having your room painted yellow or green also increases your exam grades and IQ also. So being surrounded by colors of different colors also affects your IQ. Very interesting. Just make sure none of it's lead paint. This one is B. Which of the clinical staff below cannot provide principal primary care management services? Have we got an RN, a pharmacist, a medical assistant, or a licensed practical nurse? Which clinical staff below cannot provide principal care management services? What do you guys think? And I think playing this in the background while you sleep is wonderful. It's bound to make some sort of difference. I can't paint my room right now. I know. Just wear something yellow and green when you're taking your exam. Make sure your little cup of water or whatever, make sure it's peppermint tea, because peppermint increases your test exam scores. So you want to make sure that you're drinking peppermint tea. Have it in a yellow cup or a green cup. Yeah. Everybody's getting this one wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. I still do not see a correct answer. What y'all bashing the medical assistants for? They are clinical staff. You have English tea from a trip to London. I have never been over the pond. That is so cool. How was it? Did you like it? I used to love hiring the medical assistants with the associate's degree. I think they're wonderful additions to any practice. It is your pharmacist. They are not clinical staff. Isn't that funny? Modifier. Which modifier must be on claims when attending physician not employed or paid under arrangements by a patient's hospice provider? GC, GV, AI, PI. Not every modifier is in your CPT book. Be sure to know the fact that all modifiers are in your HitPix book. Be sure you know how to look them up. SH and another one have been on the exam. SH and SN. Be sure you know what those modifiers are for anybody that's taking their exam. I think somebody's taking it Thursday. Know where those modifiers are in your HitPix book and know the differences. By the way, she would not let me leave without the tea. Aw, that is so sweet. Do you know what can I bring in person on the proctor's exam? Yes. Glasses, a Kleenex, one Kleenex, not a box, and not a hanky like cloth, but one Kleenex, your glasses, and that's it. I do not think they allow you to bring a drink in there because they don't want it spilling on their electronic equipment, of course, but you can get up and leave the exam and go get a drink. They're going to give you a locker to lock up all your purse and stuff in, and you can put your drink inside there and you can get up and go do it. But know that when you leave the exam and go get a drink or go potty, that the timer's still going on your exam and it won't stop. So I don't think they allow drinks in there because I saw some people they do, but some people they don't. And I don't think they allow drinks. Though if you're taking it remotely at home, you can have glasses, like eyeball glasses. That's what I'm talking about. A drink, a Kleenex. Nothing in your lap, like blankets or things like that. I've heard of somebody getting away with a space heater even under at their feet, but I was scared to turn mine on. The several exams that I've taken from home, so. Tomorrow in person, you're going to do great, Jamie. Nothing to worry about. It's just a bunch of questions. That's all. Just a bunch of questions, and you know what to expect. I've shown you everything. You know exactly what to take. Your books, earplugs, it's quiet. Nobody's allowed to talk. And you will have a locker, and water will be outside in a basket. 4 hours, and it's fast. that 4 hours goes by really, really, really fast. Just don't read the questions. I promise. Do not read them. Go straight to the answers. Look up the differences between those answers and only look for those differences in your question. That's it. Pick an answer and move on. Don't second guess yourself. If there's modifiers in your answers, like this particular question, use them to your advantage. What's the difference between 76 and 78? Look that up first before you look at those CPT codes. So 76 is a repeat. 78 is unplanned. Y'all know they're going to ask you one of these on the exam. Which one of these would be a repeat and which one of these would be unplanned? We're going to look backwards and see what happened to this patient. Right? We're going to look for just simple, easy things. 2 days ago, she had an operation due to car wreck. And she's still having fever, nausea, and abdominal pain. So they're going back in and doing another incision to look-see. Would they call that an unplanned return back to the operating room? Or do they call that a repeat procedure? What would they call that? This question is probably going to be on your exam. No one's ever really repeating anything. I can't remember seeing a question where they're ever going to repeat it. I don't know. Maybe if you had a kid with a congenital problem, like the 2 hips that are displaced or something, and you did one procedure and then you do a repeat procedure on the other leg or whatever, maybe something like that. But you're never really going to use 76. It's just really odd. Anything with any patient who had something done a few days ago and there's complications or no improvement, it's always going to be a 78. That gets you down to a 50-50 shot really quickly. Now you just need to know, are you an O2 or are you an OO? A lot of times it's the smaller of the number, but then again, that OO is usually diagnostic. O2 would be foreign body, right? Because they start off with explore, foreign body, then they go into excision of a cyst, abscess, then we go into putting a catheter or a balloon. They're all in the same pattern, and then they'll start over again. So I can pretty much guess that this is explore and this is foreign body. I don't know. They did a lavage. They washed them out. Some antibiotic solution. Books are packed at the door. Awesome. Go on and put them in your car. Have the gas already in your car. Already have your socks, underwear, everything laid out for tomorrow, already picked out, so you don't have to utilize any brain power at all to make any decisions tomorrow. You don't want to decide what to wear tomorrow. You want to do that tonight. That's why that Facebook guy wears the same outfit every day, all day long, because he saves his brain power to command the world, whatever. The guy who's building the multi-million-dollar fort in Hawaii. They just don't make decisions. They already know what they're having for breakfast because it's the same meal every day, no matter what. They just save all their brain power for all their work meetings, and they do power meetings for that. That way they don't have to make any decisions. Super helpful for that. Don't forget your driver's license, photo ID. You will need that. And your AAPC membership ID number. This one is B. Did anybody get B? Yes. It's 8 minutes away. Oh, you're good. Good, good, good. That's fantastic that it's so close. That's wonderful. My testing centers are either 5 hour one-way drive or 2.5 hour one-way drive. I live so remote. These are all different. Key points is if the first 3 digits are the same, they're more likely to be under the same header. If the first 3 digits are different, they might have a different header. Like one might be incision, one might be excision, and the other two might be scopes. It's a pattern throughout the book. Super helpful to know that. I would start out with this 48 and 43, look up those two since they're the same first 3 digits, and just see what those differences are. And then do a word search. If I'm under laparoscopic, if I'm under scope as a header, then perfect for those 2 codes. If those 2 codes are under excision or incisional, then I know I'm in the wrong spot for these 2 answers. I need to go find the codes that are under the header of scope. Three hours away, one way. It's possible to take it at home. It's just stressful. It's going to a testing center, I'm sure, but at least if the internet goes down or there's any kind of computer technical issue, it's not counted against you and you can retake it because it's the testing center's fault. If you take it at home and your internet crashes, then you're just, that's a waste of $499. That's awful and very stressful. My computer had to have a reboot once while I was on with a proctor. Luckily, my exam did not start yet, but my computer had no audio for some reason. So I had to reboot. He luckily gave me a link to get back to him once I rebooted the computer and started back up, and we were able to start our Zoom again. But yeah, you want to make sure if you are doing it at home, your computer has been rebooted and is running really well that day. Three hours away, yeah. When I do them when they're in Vegas, I just have my oldest child, he's 32, I have him drive me so that I can just relax in the car, thumb through notes, look up stuff on the internet to add to my notes, and can just be in the zone for 3 hours, piddling, and let him drive. If I had to drive and do an exam, my brain would not function. Because, yeah, that would be awful. What do you guys think is the answer for this one? Everybody saying D? Good job. D is correct. What about this one? This one is really cool. We have 2 that start off with the same answer. If this happens to you during your exam, there's a reason for it. They want to know if you know the difference between those 2 codes. Most of the time, 99% of the time, it's going to be B or C. Every once in a while, it'll be one of A or D, but not often. I would give these 2, the 10 and the 15, a really hard look. Look for that one word difference between those 2, which could be a location, a procedure type, or a technique. The route in, the route out. Those things are always important. don't go looking at the 30 and the 10 when you have two answers that start off with the same code. Always look at these first. And if you find something that matches, that tells you it's 15 or 10, then pick that answer and move on to your next one. Don't go verifying that it really isn't this 15 or it really isn't this 10. Don't go looking for it. Yes, I do have the 2024 notes done. I did that today. What else did I do? It's crazy. It is C. C was our answer. Another thing, if it's a difference between a 10 and a 15, looking at these numbers numerically, the 4, 10, 10 is a smaller number than the 4, 11, 15. The 4, 11, 15 would be a higher paying cost of service. This one would be a lower cost of service because it's a smaller number. In general, those are, except for in the OB section, those are cheaper. So if you know nothing else, then this number is the same, this number is the same, this answer is a smaller number, and this answer is a bigger number, just numerically, pick the smaller number, always. If you have to guess and you run out of time, the smaller of the number is usually the correct answer, because what they're putting in here is propaganda to make you think that you did the higher, more expensive situation. And they want to make sure that you're not an overcoder. More than anything else, the point of this exam is to make sure that you can't be tricked and that you would code responsibly by charging smaller amounts than the higher amounts. So that is also helpful. Before I would charge something that was higher number, I would double verify that it's really that procedure. If you're coding infusion, chemotherapy, or something like that, these are cool questions. I like them. Is it better in person or at home? I figured this is where I've been the last 6 months with the course, sitting here in my dining room table. Well, number one, you won't be able to do it in a dining room unless your dining room has closable doors on all 4 walls where you can close that room with just your table in it and not see any other rooms. If you have an open concept with the living room attached, you cannot take the exam there. You would have to move to a bedroom or a closet. Some people have walk-in closets that are small. But you need to have 4 walls that close. And any windows or slider glass doors or doors that have glass inserts have to be covered with curtains or mini blinds that close, shutters that close. And you have to have 4 walls around you, and a cubicle will not work. They do not allow cubicles for some reason, because I have people that took it at work, and they were in an open concept room, but they had 3-wall cubicle. You know, nobody's around them, but no, they wouldn't let them do that. Good night, good night, good night. What time is it? Oh, 8:20. I gotta go too. I gotta go check on my mom. Let's do this question and we'll be done. My lighting is so good. Good over my head. My lighting is so good. Oh, no. Will I have to contact them and change? You don't have a bedroom? Do you have a bedroom? Even if it's a kid's room or a guest room, it is totally okay to do a bedroom. You can put a laptop on top of an ironing board and bring a kitchen chair and put it in front of the bedroom door, and then bring a stack of books and a cup and put your webcam up. But you have to use a room. They won't let you use a kitchen table, dining room combo area for sure. They will not. Now, to take your AAPC course exams, final exams on your course, absolutely you can use your kitchen table. But the online certification exam with the proctor cannot be in an open concept room. Yeah, that's the one thing, Nicole. I've done the CPC exam in person at home, and then I did the CPMA exam in person and at home. And I love doing it at home, but it is super stressful. I've had to climb on top of my bed, add light bulbs to my ceiling fan because I have mood light in my bedroom. You know, it's not like bright light. And in the middle of my exam, he wanted it brighter. So I had to go find light bulbs, and all my light bulbs are phone app, darker, but I couldn't get on my cell phone during my exam to turn the light up. So I had to go run and find a real light bulb from back in the day when they're not controlled by telephone, your cell phone, and go find one of those old-timey ones, if that makes any sense, and climb up on my bed because I'm short and I didn't have a step ladder in here. Ceiling fan, I got really tall ceiling fans in my room, or ceilings in my bedroom, because it's vaulted ceiling, and I had to climb in the middle of this exam, knocking the camera off, and put light bulbs in my ceiling fan. Talk about stress. Good gracious. Crazy. But yeah. Chapter meeting. I'm so tired. Aw. What do you guys think the answer is for this question? C. So 5 minutes is a push. 2 minutes is a push. 35 would be infusion, 92 is infusion. So you have 2 meds that are pushes, 2 meds that are infusion. Thinking about that helps for these kind of things. Also looking for your similarities and irregularities. This is the same answer all the way down. These 3 are the same answer, so I would get rid of A just because it's not the same as these. This is the same, and these 2 are the same. This D is different, so I would get rid of D. So it's just a difference between B and C. Would we times 2 one of them or not? We have 4 codes. If we coded B, there's 4 drugs done. This one might be 5, or one of them might be times 2 because it's just longer administration. Are we billing 5? Billing 4? That's how I would get down to 50-50. And then I would just look to see what the 11 was and if I needed to times 2 it. And C is your answer. I know it's getting really late. I need to go check on my mom. I will be on TikTok tomorrow. We'll do 2 more hours, about the same time. I will try to do 5:30 instead of 6:30. I tried today and failed epically, but I will try to get on earlier because I know the time change has made things a lot later for you guys. I love you guys. I am so proud of you guys. You got this. Just keep thinking about the things that I've already taught you. You know how to do this. Don't second guess yourself. Pick an answer and move on. Wear yellow or green, peppermint tea, and you got this. Don't read the questions. Go straight to the answer. And I'm so proud of you guys. Really, really, really proud of you guys. I hope I answered all your questions. I would get a fake door. Yeah, fake walls. Heck yeah. Go get you some sheetrock sheets and prop them up against some walls and then take it back after your exam. Heck yeah. Make it look like you got 4 walls. Do you have lab and path notes on your website for 2024? Not yet. I'm going to work on those tomorrow. I have 2023. They're excellent. They're wonderful codes. The only lab and path new codes that we have for 2024 are monkeypox and some more COVID draws. There's nothing new that I think is going to be on the exam. I am going to do the 2024 notes just because there are a few more codes, but I don't suspect that they are going to be on the exam at all. I don't think they're asking anything about monkeypox on the exam. So the new CPT codes I don't think are relevant to the exam, but I will do notes for them, and I will work on that tomorrow. But I don't think it'll make a difference. I think what we've already got up is perfect for the exam. And more notes than you're going to want to make notes on. You're going to look at my notes and go, oh my God, I got to write all this. It's already a lot. When you get my notes, what you need is the 1-word difference that I wrote underneath the number of the CPT code. If I wrote a bunch of jargon over the top of the CPT code descriptor, you technically don't need that for the exam, but I'm telling you in layman's terms what's going on in that particular code. It's helpful for when you get a real job and you want to know some of the differences between these codes. I kind of go overboard with my notes, but that 1-word difference is what you need, plus the do's and do nots, like don't times this one, is super helpful. But anyway, yeah, my lab and path notes are great. You're going to love them. But I will work on the ones for 2024 tomorrow. All right. Love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. And thank you all for the best wishes for my mom. And I hope the one lady that was talking about her mom broke both her legs. God, I hope she gets better soon. And I'll see y'all tomorrow on TikTok, okay?